Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. You good girl? Yeah. What? What was it? What was it? What was it? Glad to be in the canoe. Out on the waters. It's been a long time. Hello Outdoorsies, it's Pete, Mindwiseman's channel, aka Maverick Outdoors, and today is Monday the 5th of May 2014, and in the UK this was a bank holiday weekend where everyone's rushing around chasing their tail to relax, basically, making the most of the clement weather that we've had since Saturday really. It's been sunny, a bit of a breeze but no rain, and it feels like the beginning of summer, so let's hope it's on its way. Originally I was going to endeavour to camp out on the rivers all weekend, so I was going to leave on the Saturday morning and I was going to go down, I'm in a backwater now just off the Thames, mainstream of the Thames, just to have a leisurely canoe tour around some other backwaters that I have been down before as well, before going back onto the main stretch of the Thames maybe later on the Sunday, then camp out overnight on the Sunday night on the River Thames. So there have been two separate places, a bit of variety, one really off the beaten track and then one on the mainstream of the Thames. And then chill out all Monday morning up to Monday lunchtime, sort of about this time, which is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then make my way home. But it wasn't to be. Obviously this is the nylon canvas hull and inside are the PVC bladders. But if you imagine this was the actual bladder, this is how they're seamed. They're butted up and then it sort of rises and they're heat seamed, which means they're prone to pinhole leaks where the strain sort of pulls away when it expands and inflated. Saying I did major repairs on it and the two side bladders, and left them inflated for about I think it worked out 10 days. I was going to leave them for a few days, but it worked out about 10 days up the stairwell on my stairs in my house, put them to the side so that they would stay a consistent temperature, because I've mentioned before, but it's common knowledge anyway, air shrinks in the cold and then expands when it's warm. So of course, as far as the bladders are concerned, you can inflate it, they can get cold, and then it will be as if they're losing pressure, when actually it hasn't actually lost pressure as such. It's just that the air has sort of shrunk, and then when it gets warm it will expand, just like these have started to do a little bit because the sunlight's coming straight down here. So I've inflated them to a level where I could take that into consideration. So they're not fully inflated, and then they get warm, then they expand, and then maybe put a strain on, as I was saying, the pinhole leak areas, or the areas that are prone for pinhole leaks. So for those 10 days, I was going to leave them for a couple of days, and then I thought I'll leave them for a couple more days. And so it worked out about 10 days. They didn't deflate whatsoever. The pressure didn't change at all. But lo and behold, when I put the little beauties in the nylon canvas hull in my front garden to do a test and put it all back together, guess what? Within about half hour I noticed there was a deflation, and I wasn't sure if it was down to the coldness, because it was sort of late in the evening and it was getting a bit cooler. So I thought, well, one side's not actually changing that much, so is it just, you know, Murphy's Law that something's happening, that it's just starting to shrink a bit but there's no actual leak? So I left the whole canoe, as you see it there, fully inflated in my garage, and although it was going to stay cool overnight, there wasn't going to be real big drastic drops of temperature. So when I did put it in the garage, I knew that the cold temperature outside and the temperature, which was slightly higher obviously in the garage, would stay constant. So the consistency of the pressure of the totally inflated canoe left in the garage in theory shouldn't change. So on the Friday, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I just had a bit of a vibe. I thought, I'm going to go and check it out, because I don't want to get everything prepared and then all of a sudden I've got a major repair job yet again. And about 2 o'clock in the morning I checked it out in the garage, and lo and behold, the same bladder had actually deflated, whilst the rest of it was nice and solid. The cushions, the cushion for the seat, that chamber, but it was this one that was causing the problem. So because I wanted to do a really good job on the repair, not just a temporary patch, which could have come away while I was out for the weekend, and then I've got the problem of, if I'm on my own I don't mind, but if I've got Kashi Safari Camping Canoe Dog with me, I don't want the added pressure of, you know, her welfare, and having to sort of rush back because there's an emergency, you know. So I just then had to take it out of the hull, the canvas hull, and start to find out where it was, and it was actually in the least expected place, sort of actually on the bit of the body, not actually on the seam. Anyway, the long and the short of it was, as you can imagine, was the plans were scuppered. So I was then thinking, shall I go sort of on Sunday and then spend overnight on the Sunday night, maybe on the Thames, but I just wasn't in the right mood for it. I wanted to actually stay out for the whole weekend, so I thought, right, I'll do another good job on the repair. Bone of contention really is, but I just don't want to give up. I can't see it go. Talking as if this inanimate, inflatable object has got some sort of character or personality. Of course it hasn't, but it's anything that, I mean, it's like people with cars, isn't it, really? They give it a name, but it's totally inanimate. It's got no character, it's got no humanisation to it at all, no animation to it. It's just a mechanical heap of mechanisation that moves you around, and this is just synthetic materials that moves me around on the water. But it's what that does, it's the experience that the thing that you use or that you get connected with, actually from those experiences, I think that's what gives it a personality, because you transfer those feelings and thoughts onto the inanimate object, as if it's an extension of you. So of course that inanimate object becomes, I don't know, as if it's got some sort of actual animalistic character to it. So anyway, that's enough of philosophising on life and how we reflect on things. But the canoe itself is staying afloat today, so I just thought what I'd do, I was just chill yesterday on the Sunday. So I just thought, right, okay, on the Saturday I'll do the repair. It's not going to be done and finished with the way that the particular materials I use to repair it properly cure within 12 to 24 hours. So that meant that would go on to Sunday. And I didn't want to rush out, because my whole objective was to leave early Saturday, get nice and settled in the back stream, and then just have sort of like 3 days, 2 nights out. So of course that wasn't to be. So I just left early this morning, had a paddle about, double checked the canoe, packed a few things away, and let Maverick Explorer have its test float, and so far so good. So that's the test on it. And if there had been a problem, I wouldn't have had loads and loads of kit as you saw me unload the canoe. All it was this bag with attachments, with my food and just stuff I need for the day. And if there was an emergency and I had to get back, especially I've got Karsh with me, I could just paddle back, get in the car and drive home. So there was no sort of overnight type of strategy. Plus as well, I wouldn't be paddling back upstream, which if... What is it? Yeah, I know. Saying hello. Hello YouTube. Hello Mindwiseman. Maverick Outdoors followers. Yeah, heads up, thank you. I'm glad you like my channel. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming. And finally, the journey that I would have taken from the Saturday morning until Monday night to return, a lot of the return journey would have been back upstream. So if there was a problem, I didn't know what the current was going to be like. Although I've sort of monitored it, you know, there could have been a heavy downpour of rain, not necessarily near the Thames, but sort of in the areas that tribute into the Thames. And before you know it, you wake up the next morning. And as you can see from that stick in the water demo, of course the current is sort of flowing down that direction from north to south, or as you're looking at me, left to right, or my right, my left. But of course if the flow was even stronger and you're paddling against it, and that would have been another big consideration as well, because I'd have been paddling against the current, upstream. I'd have had all my kit with me, I'd have had Kahasha with me. And it would have been about 5 miles return journey against the current. Now I was paddling here to get here, was actually paddling upstream against the current, but it wasn't that forceful, so that was good. So I thought, right, okay, I've got the Monday, so I specifically planned to come here. It was easy, put in from the car to inflate in it and then just put it in the water, and then coming here, I knew that the paddle back, if there was going to be a problem, you know, if it had started to deflate or there had been a problem with it, I'm going with the current, I'm going downstream on the way back if there's an emergency, so of course that serves a purpose. So it's always something to consider, you know, when you're doing test runs or test flotation. So, you know, that was a major part of the consideration as well. So that's why I'm here now. It's like 3:30 in the afternoon, as you can see, sun's sort of in my face. There's not really that much cloud at all, and wherever it is, it's sort of quite sort of like thin, pulled out fluffs of cotton wool. So it's a lovely day, and I've got the sun right above me, trying to get through this white willow, and just sitting outdoors making something to eat, really. That's what it's for. So it's a 2-in-1. Test the canoe, come out for the majority of the day, and make something to eat outdoors, something sort of decent. Me old faithful, the Coleman 533 one-man stove, which I haven't used for a while because I've been using butane or sort of like small pocket rocket gas because it weighs less with some of the, you know, the outdoors activities I've been doing. So it's not too windy, but a little bit of breeze kicks up. So just to make that work more efficient and keep the flame directly under what I'm cooking, just put the wind guard and adjust that as and when I need to. For a lot of you who'd have seen this little kit bag before, I featured that more recently. There's a lid to the saucepan. Take the kettle upside down. There's the lid and the handle, and there's the saucepan with the folding handles that I'm going to be utilising to cook up some of the food. Little 6 foot by 3 foot plastic tarp, which if I did need to use it, I can use it as emergency shelter if I need to, but just using it as a convenient place to put all and sundry. Because I brought everything in the canoe, you know, I don't have to be minimalist of using one container, you know, to cook something, because I've got something to boil up and then also something to fry, which I'll show you in a moment, the ingredients of the meal that I'm going to make. I've also brought in this rucksack, my stainless steel mess tin with a folding handle that goes over, sort of nice and rectangular, good surface area, which tends to be much better for frying or sautéing your vegetables and meat than actually using a high-sided billy can. So. Okay, there's my waist bag, bum bag, fanny bag, whatever you want to call it, with a belt, which I've clipped around my rucksack. Just take that off, and it's got a few EDC things, phone, wallet, money, that sort of thing in there, so I'll just put that aside. So as you saw from when I took out the saucepan and kettle pouch, and also the pouch that had the one-man stove in that green bag device there, that's all sort of hooked onto D-rings, so that's all one, as if it's like an extension of the actual pouch of the rucksack. Just fasten that to there. Water bottle, so this is all one unit. Everything I needed basically was all one unit, and there was the bag, which has got my trolley if there's any problems where I had to deflate and then transport the canoe, folded up and deflated. And of course the inflation pump is in the bag that the canoe's carried around in, so it's just 2 units, but this being the main one. First aid kit in there, a couple of other sundries, torchlight, catapult, bits and pieces. Again, I'm repeating a lot of this, but if I don't say it, someone will say, oh, what did you put in there? Let's have a look. Head torch, glasses, extra belt if I wanted to use it as a utility instead of using the belt that's on my trousers. That's always a good idea. But if you have a separate belt with all your things connected onto, you can just take it off rather than threading things and looping things onto the belt that's holding up your trousers. So that's one thing to consider. That's what I like to do. Inside the bag, again, got sort of antibacterial solution there, another carabiner, and then in here, just opening that up, got my fleece, got some wipes. Oh yeah, this was kindly given to me by Darren. It's Fire Dragon gel. So if there was an emergency, not that I'm thinking of actually doing any campfire cooking, but I've got that if I needed to start a fire, and I just thought I'd utilise it to see where it fitted for future reference with this day pack. Wipes just to have a clean up, waterproof jacket, waterproof trousers if the worst happens. The day you don't bring it is the day you'll need them. little microfiber towel. I've already got 2 of these, actually green ones, although not of this make, but I saw this, £3.99 Lidl. So I thought, right, I'll get one of them, but it's mainly for Karsh if something happened to sort of wipe her over. Little folding mat, sit down mat. This was reduced I think for about £4, and I got this for £1.25 in a sports shop, so I thought I'll have that. Thank you very much, £1.25. Stainless steel mess tin, fold up mantle, load of plastic bags. If you can't do the washing up, it's good just to put your dirty cooking utensils, once you've wiped them out a little bit, just in a bag to take home, because I'm not having to live out and keep the stuff clean for second use. If that fails, Hexie stove, and if there was an emergency where I needed some water, and again I needed to filter anything, I've just got this as backup. I won't need it, but it's the Frontier Pro. You might have seen these before, but I got this from emergency food storage, so they do a lot of prepping stuff, survival gear, whether domestic or outdoors, but I just thought I'd bring this just in case I need it. It's got different attachments to it. You can sort of put it on a bottle, and there's a little screw attachment which takes the place of the screw cap that would actually go on the bottle. Then you do all the relevant stuff to connect this onto it. Again, nothing technical, just that backup, plus as well just an experiment to see how that would fit for future reference, etc. Banana in a protective case. Orange juice, already had one of those. Replace the old carbs. Let's put it in there. Loads of kitchen towel, folded up, so you just undo the bag and it's in separate pieces. So unroll it first, tear the pieces off, fold them in half, and then do them separate. So all you got to do, rather than take out the whole load and then tearing it off, especially if you've got gungy hands, all you got to do is open the bag, and I know exactly the folds are on the uppermost edge. So you should be able to see that. So I can actually see each separate sheet, conveniently packed. 2 litres of water, and then this bag, I actually bought this at the Bushcraft show. Plastic, waterproof, pretty sturdy. I think it's ex-French Army, used for some gizmo or device. Only cost me £2.50 from one of the stalls selling stuff at the Bushcraft show. So yeah, and it's also got a strap, a shoulder strap. And that was really good to use. Actually, I've used it a couple of times when you know you don't need anything sort of heavy or technical, maybe just a packed lunch, your few sundries for the actual canoe, and you know you're going to paddle out into the middle of a lake and then be able to paddle back again, but all your kit is on the river bank or the lake bank. So yeah, that's a good little bag. Okay, I've got lamb chops in there, brew kit, biscuits, sweet corn, part of the main meal. I've got an MRE in there with a flameless ration pack heater as well for backup if I needed it. Then in the box, got a carrot for Karsh. Yeah, Karsh, you want a carrot? Yeah, a little treat. That'll keep you happy for a while. Onion, sweet red pepper, sort of bit of confectionery there. A lamb stock cube. So I'm having bulgur wheat, which is seasoned with mushroom and sort of mild spices, lamb steaks, red pepper, onion, and a little bit of stock. Squidgy tomato sauce, always have that back up, and a clove of garlic to chop up. So I'm going to saute fry the onion and red pepper, and then add the thinly sliced lamb, which I took out of the freezer last night and packed up in the bag, so it's just still cool now, so it wouldn't have perished. So I'm going to slice that up, cook it with the onion and the red pepper and the garlic just gently, and then when that softens in that stainless steel billy can, I'll leave it in there, and then I'm going to boil up the bulgur wheat with a 450ml of water in the saucepan. Then when that's cooked, put it in there. One might say, well, why not boil the bulgur wheat and then put the onion in with it, but it's just a different flavour. Plus, well, I've got the canoe, so I could bring everything near enough but the kitchen sink. So I built up a bit of an appetite paddling up here, so what better place to be, making my bank holiday Monday dinner on a little backstream riverbank. A little bit of a cool breeze, hardly any cloud, sun flickering through, spot on. sun flickering through, bird song, and if I'm lucky I'll catch the odd kingfisher, because I've seen, I think there's a nest of them just somewhere up there, and also they're down there because they tend, their habitat, they tend to perch on overhang of, preferably for them, undisturbed waters. Okay, so I chopped up the red pepper, onion and the garlic on the lid of the plastic container, and the lamb I was able to cut up on the actual plastic tray with the film cover that it came in, the packaging, on this. That was quite a handy little sort of cutting surface with the Modifier 10. Wait, 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 wait. Good girl, here you go. Little treat dinner, good girl. You got to witness this. Oh, joking again. Oh. Mmm. Very seldom am I lost for words. And in a situation like this, except for one. Yummy. Nice brew. Cheers, people. That was less of a slurp on the second one. Now I'll do it in total silence. Okay, I'm just starting to tidy up. I don't need to do a lot of washing up because I'm not reusing the stuff again. I'm going to pack up and paddle back and then just basically go home. So I rinsed out the lid of the container where I would obviously cut up some of the vegetables and just wipe that over just so it get rid of the smell. Obviously I'm still going to wash that. And then the mess tin and then the rubbish I put in a little carrier bag like that, screwed it up, crunched it up. And then if you can imagine that stainless steel mess tin, I opened up the bag like that, placed it centrally in there and then twisted it, as you can see there. But then what it does, it makes a double surface. So instead of just sort of folding it over and then you've just got the single surface there, after I've twisted it, I then folded it back on itself, so it's got like 2 layers over the top. So it just makes it stronger, and then tied it. Obviously the mess tin was you know, appropriate size to do that. So you can see it's actually got double surface on the top. So it just makes it a little bit more easier when you're taking stuff in the bag, so you know nothing sort of leaks or there's less chance of it, because I've doubled over all the surfaces and then just rinsed out some of the units to get rid of the smell. But as I say, they're not squeaky clean, so I'm going to wash them when I get home. So now I'm going to pack everything back into the bag where it all came from. Okay, it's just gone 6:30 in the evening, and before I pack up and get myself afloat, I just want to show you this little item. The Spyack, made by, and a lot of you will recognise that logo, Mick, Animal Tendencies. He's recently got a canoe, same as mine. Just listening to, don't know if you can hear that. I'm waiting for a high chirp, which is the kingfish. But anyway, back to Mick, Animal Tendencies. Some of you might know his channel, if not, check him out. So, you know, he said from watching my videos when he first got into YouTube, outdoorsy stuff, I'd sort of inspired him to get out there in a canoe. So he sent me this as a sort of thank you, and I'll explain what it is. But before that, Mick makes a lot of little sort of innovative ideas, a lot of stuff that he makes. You can't buy it in retail outlets or, you know, sort of outdoors shops, bushcraft stores, shops, internet traders, eBay, that sort of thing. So check him out, Animal Tendencies. He's also got a website, and he makes some really simple stuff. You know, he thinks outside the box. We've had a conversation about, you know, aspects of thinking outside the box and not just sort of pigeonholing everything. And he comes out with these really innovative ideas. And he's got this, which is, it's called the Spyack. And basically, I'll just undo it and show you what it does. So you can see he's played on the word of kayak and spider and mixed the two together with his 4-legged spider. You can see the little hook fastenings. There's 4 of them. He's got a ring there which you fasten all those to. I've kept the ring on that one because the reason why he's fitted that on is that all 1, 2, 3, 4, as you saw in my hand, all connect onto that metal silver ring to which is like a key ring, spring key ring device, to keep them secure and safe so they don't get damaged. Then each one is doubled over and sort of prussicked, fastened into each of those hook fasteners, and you can see it's sort of bungee, springy. Now if I had some kit underneath there, it helps keep it secure. So this would have obviously been inserted in the canoe and kept secure, because obviously it's wedged in there. But if I wanted to put something on top of it, I can spring load this and that will keep it secure as well. Plus another double meaning to the spy, as in spider, spy, S-P-Y, is that you can use it for your camera as well. So you can place your camera on top of whatever you've got, on anything really. It doesn't have to be a canoe or a kayak. And he demonstrated in one of his videos, the most recent one he did, his second voyage in his canoe for a leisurely paddle and knocking up some trail food on the riverbanks. He actually showed how you can get a camera tripod, the upright that the camera, say my thumb is the camera, fits on top of, say, where my little finger is, and that holds it in position. So if this is my camera here, so if I place it on top of my finger, I'm filming. And personally, I think it's a great little device to, you know, for the missus to have in a handbag, to have in your EDC. It can be just used for so many different things. Nice and strong, as you can see, springy. So you can sort of assess the sort of surface space that it can keep secure. So I really appreciate that. It was a really nice gesture. Something so simple and yet can mean so much, not just a gesture of him, you know, giving it to me and thanking me for getting him into canoeing. And it justifiably needs exposure, as does a lot of his little improvised kit that he makes. As I say, you can't get it anywhere else, some of the ideas he has, so go check him out. Oh yeah, just one extra little thing. If you come across a plant similar to this, like this is comfrey, it's got sort of a little bit of a furry leaf, and you can break off a leaf, and I've just done it, and it's really good, just mild abrasion, to wipe the mud where my tripod stool sort of sunk into the ground. Anything that's got sort of a bit of residue on it, you can just use one of these type of leaves, but it's got to be the upper side, the face side of the leaf, if you want to call it that, because it's got sort of a raspy feel to it, and they're strong enough not to tear in your hand like a weak piece of tissue paper. So yeah, just utilising that. Or of course you can eat it, but you've got to be careful how much you do eat. I've mentioned it before when I've talked about simple foraging, when out and about, the comfrey leaf. You can serve it up like spinach. This is the sort of terrain that was behind me on the riverbank. Just letting Karsh have a little sniff. Stretch your legs a little bit, yeah? Oh, different things to smell around here. So we're going to make our way through the nettles. And it's the same sort of on the other side there, all farmland, and well, just open meadows. So before we have a little paddle back, let Karsh stretch your legs, eh? Camping canoe dog. He's back on the scene, yeah. You're a good girl, yeah. You're a goody woody. Really appreciated everyone's well wishes for Karsh, and you know, saying that it wouldn't be the same if she wasn't out with me. So thumbs up to you guys, thanks very much, really appreciate it. And if Karsh could speak, you'd say thank you as well, wouldn't you? Would you say yeah, Karsh? What can you smell? Would you say thank you? Yeah? Would you say thanks ever so much? Yeah? So, give us a roar. Give us a roar. Give us a roar. 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 Ah. 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 Yeah? Hello? Yeah, she said thanks. One empty, still inflated canoe. Ready to get loaded up, so let's get on it. Okay, I'm ready to go, all packed up. Dog's chilling out, and make our way back down that way. Follow that delicately flowing stream. Okay, so I finally got back onto the old dark and ready to make my way all the way down there for about another 2.5 to 3 miles. Okay, as I shimmy sideways to my final destination, back where I came from. Thanks for watching this video, first one for 2014 in the repaired canoe. You watching the birds flying up in the trees. And as always, really appreciate your interest. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you in another video soon. Cheers, take care.